Well, let's bring you some perspective now on the situation facing refugees from Burundi. I'm joined by a CGTN reporter, Soni Methu, who was recently in the country. Soni, we know, of course, there was a period of unrest, but now you've recently visited Burundi. From your experience, would you say it is safe enough for refugees to return home?
Well, Lindy, we were actually there on the day that about 301 refugees returned from Tanzania. And for most that we spoke to, reported that they had news that Burundi was peaceful. And they were actually escaping the fact that they couldn't find work, they couldn't live in suitable conditions. They had left their property, their land back in Burundi. And we know the refugee camps are really overcrowded at this point. And we also know that the WFP has been cutting down the food that they receive, for example. So for most of them, they were coming back because they felt it was not only safe, but they had no option but to look for work and how to sustain their families. But according to the government, we spoke to the Ministry of Home Affairs, and he actually gave us a one-on-one on the day the 301 refugees arrived. This is Deputy Minister of Home Affairs, Terence Ntahiraji. So how prepared is Burundi's government to receive these refugees that will be streaming in for the next few weeks?
The government is promising security. We have already been providing security to homes and farms of those who fled. They will find their property as they left them. That alone is assurance that Burundi is safe for returnees. They have no reason not to come back.
What capacity does the government have or lack to resettle them and to receive them as we speak?
Our revenue authority works and money is coming in. We have about 12 million Burundians and they are living very well here. They lack nothing. This means that the few who are coming back will lack nothing in such a beautiful and resourceful country. I want to let the world know Burundi is generally peaceful. The proof is that we have received refugees from Congo and Tanzania who ran to Burundi. We have camps for refugees from Congo that this government helps support with the help of UNHCR, of course.
Well, indeed, as we see there from that interview, the Deputy Home Affairs Minister very adamant that the country is safe, that people should return home. But we are hearing of these deadly altercations between Burundi refugees that's taking place now in the eastern DRC. And some are suggesting that this is a result of forced repatriation. Is there a sense that people are voluntarily returning home, or that this has become something mandatory from the Burundi government?
Well, actually, Lindy, the government plans to repatriate at least 12,000, they say, voluntary returnees who are coming from Tanzania. This was a tripartite agreement between Tanzania, Burundi, and the UNHCR back in August the 30th. So they say, we spoke to the UNHCR at the same time, who said most of these returnees are being taken back by families, friends, or actually going back to their homes, which the government claims to have been taken care of since they left. But the story that is currently unfolding from Friday, it depends on who you ask. According to the government of Burundi, they say they were overwhelmed. But the story is the protesters were going to actually claim that 4 of their own are being forcefully repatriated back to Burundi. And these were actually being held by the Ministry of Security in the Congo, and they say that they became upset, and apparently the soldiers started firing in the air, and they started stoning them, and one soldier is said to have died. So for these ones, that it's a sign that many of those who are taking asylum abroad do not want to come back. But according to the government, thousands are volunteering to come back. The UNHCR insists that they will not bring back people who do not want to come back. Of course, Burundi has asylum seekers, most of them journalists that we even spoke to, who still do not feel that Burundi is safe. For most people who are opponents of the government, don't feel that Burundi is safe enough for them. There's still some people disappearing. Just recently, a high member of the opposition also is said to have been actually kidnapped. So there are some people who feel that Burundi is not safe enough, but there are others who have actually volunteered to come back. And for most of this, as I said, it's basically lack of opportunities in the host countries or host nations. But so far, Burundi is certainly not the troubled country that we witnessed in 2015.
Oh, thank you so much, Soni Methu, here in studio with us. And of course, she has just recently returned from Burundi, giving us some perspective on the situation there.